the girls that post really provocative tend to attract men that like those types of pictures. So they end up with each other to some extent, because men that actually were never attracted to that woman, they wouldn't actually select her to begin with. So something in their selection that was broken to begin with. They're usually just really attracted to her, and they have a habit of following girls that post provocatively. Then once they get her, they're like, I don't want you posting provocatively. She's like, but I've seen your feed. You always like these girls that look like this. So they both got the same values, but they don't realize they got the same values.
I think if you're getting into a relationship and you've already seen that's what she does, you can't really expect her to change her behavior, because that's kind of what she does.
And you knew that.
But I did have there was a friend of mine who was actually on the podcast. He was asking my advice because he was in a relationship with this girl she's pretty modest most of the time, and out of nowhere she throws up this kind of seductive bikini picture. And he didn't know how to respond to that. So he was asking for my advice. And I said to him, like, be careful with how you handle this, because you don't want to come across as being insecure and, not being comfortable with her doing that, because you want to kind of look as though like you're cool, you're calm, collected. But he was concerned because she'd never done this before.
Yeah.
Now, I think the reason why, because he showed me the picture, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good, but I think it was more of the case that she'd put in a lot of work into the gym.
Right.
And she just wanted to
So the context
show off,
mattered.
like, hey, look, like, I look good, and I want to show off how I look good. I do that all the time. Like,
so you understand.
I like to show off the hard work that I put in the gym. So I see why she would have wanted to do it, but there's definitely a way to do it, because there's a way you can post a picture showing a bit of skin, showing your physique, without like you looking into the lens like "fuck me" kind of thing.
And was she doing that, or
no,
she was
okay? She wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
But I was saying to him, I'd like leave it for now, but if it continues, maybe have a word.
I would always say, like, it's probably better to address it for now, but just the difference between toxic...
Even if it's a one-off.
Even if it's a one-off. I would just say, because the thing is, people think sometimes what needy is, and, you don't want to come across needy and insecure. But the only time you're insecure is when you don't have any deal breakers with a woman. Those are the only men that are insecure, where she can keep doing that, she can cheat on you, she can do that, and you stay with her, but you keep shouting at her about it. You're nagging, but you're not leaving. Then you're insecure. But if you're letting them know, you're not going to leave them, but if they do keep doing it, you will leave. As long as they know that there is a willingness to walk away, you're never truly insecure. You're just letting them know what you accept and what you don't accept. So in that position, you'd be like, look, I don't mind you posting this, but do you want to tell me what was your reason for it? Because you didn't, it's not what you normally do, and it's not the type of woman I would normally select. So what's going on? And if she said, oh, baby, it really was just a gym pic, and so on and so forth, you can address it and understand each other and recalibrate your boundaries. But if you don't say anything, she doesn't know where her boundaries lies, and they can keep increasing. So you've got to find the balance.
Yeah. And it's interesting as well. I see this with some of the guys who I know, and their whole thing on social media is just being as flashy as they can possibly be. And then they do these reels and they get their videos clipped where they're complaining about not being able to find good girls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you expect? Like, you literally post the most ridiculous things, showing off like how much money you have, how much you care about materialistic objects, and go to parties and things like that. Like, and no wonder you struggle to find good women. Like, if you're posting that, you're attracting one type of woman.
It's no different to women posting bikini pictures and then getting men that are really polygamous, or men that cheat a a lot. Because you're going to attract the type of man that loves women. He's like worships women. You don't want that. So I agree. It's ridiculous. But they always end up together. The woman that posts a lot, and the man that posts a lot of money, and the woman that posts a lot of her body, they always end up together. And do you know, as a man, do you lose respect for a man when he's with a woman that posts a lot of bikini pictures, or with a woman that's super available? Do you lose respect for men that are like...
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, because you are judged quite a lot on the woman you choose to be with.
Yeah.
And there's been some guys who, they've been friends of mine, and I respect them, and then it'd be the first time they kind of introduce their partner to the world of social media, and I'd be like, oh, I might go check them out. And I'm like, really?
So embarrassing for them, isn't it?
this isn't you.
But in their mind, they think they're bragging. They're like, look what I've got.
Yeah.
But in the mind of people who actually respect themselves, they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So they only appeal to the people who don't respect themselves. And that's the people that go, because the same thing with women. I say to them, always, I meet girls, sometimes they meet a guy, especially in Dubai, that's always gone for those OnlyFans girls and always gone for the gold diggers. And she's a nice girl. And she's like, I'm nothing like his type. So he's going to be really impressed with him. But that's his type. That's what he likes. So you being a nice, caring, non-materialistic woman, if he's gone for gold diggers in the past, it's not going to be useful. If he's got a really big porn addiction and he keeps watching OnlyFans girls and that, and you're being this good homemaking wife, you think, oh, he's going to be so impressed, I'm different. He's actually going to be like, this is not what I'm used to, because their type becomes what they're sexually attracted to, not who treats them well.
What advice would you give to a guy who is pretty successful and wants to improve his chances of attracting the right type of woman via social media if he's using that for dating? But then you can't overdo it with posting too much with the materialistic stuff, because then you bring the wrong type of people.
Yeah, my advice to men, I actually have a course on this, and I call it the 3 M's. My advice to men when it comes to attracting women and it comes to having a good relationship is just master yourself, mastering myself, mastering the women that I'm with, and also mastering relationships. So mastering yourself, understanding women, and mastering relationships. Mastering yourself, what that means is having some self-discipline. If you want to really do well when it comes to dating and when it comes to women, you have to have self-discipline. If you're out of shape, if you're watching too much pornography all the time, if you are not good with money, the thing is, when you're talking to women, they will get a gut instinct of whether or not you're a quality man. And what their gut instinct is based on is how you feel about yourself. Men that are secure, they give off a vibe to women's gut instinct where they're like, I really want to be with him. But men who are insecure, like there's something going on in them, the gut instinct of women is like, I know he's handsome, I know he's nice, but I'm just not feeling him. So you really have to master yourself first, and then you have to really understand women. Now, if you truly understand women, you'll know what kind of posts will attract what kind of women. You'll also understand what kind of boundaries attract what kind of women. So if you're just like, I just let my woman express herself, whatever she wants to do, I just have her back and this, that, and you become kind of like a feminist, you're going to attract women who are narcissistic, because most healthy women like men that have boundaries on them. They like men that have some kind of deal breakers, because they want to have a fear of losing you, just like you should have a fear of losing her. So you need to truly understand to women what men are being taught, or a lot of men, they seem to think, especially like, I see it a lot in American men, they think if you're just submissive to women and just act like a feminist and act like you're pro-women, they will be attracted to you. They don't actually find that attractive. They try to truly find attractive where you have your own set of values, and if she fits them, perfect. If she doesn't, she can go. But then you have to learn the skills of a relationship. And one of the skills of a relationship is your hygiene on social media. If you're following lots of girls, if you're liking lots of pictures, so on and so forth.
Do you know, after we had our conversation last time, I think I haven't followed about 10, 15 people.
Well done. And then how many are you on now? Still a lot.
No, yeah, but I'm following.
But you're single,
people.
right, at the moment, or no?
Yeah. Well, even then, I'm not like the people who I follow. People looking at me like it's a professional page. So I don't follow many people, like 570 people. So people can kind of quickly scan through that.
Yeah.
If anyone is posting excessive amounts of bikini pictures or whatever, like I'm not going to follow them.
Okay. So you do kind of unfollow, like when you see, I unfollow girls that post a lot of bikini pictures. I feel uncomfortable. And I never follow girls that post a lot.
The problem is if I am actually friends with them, or I've been friends with them in the past, and they are going a little bit too hardcore with all the bikini stuff, I'm like,
yeah, it gets boring.
You're making it hard for me to keep following you. Yeah. It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. And it looks, it just doesn't look like, I'm bored of content of just seeing how beautiful a woman is. And we know this. Now I've become desensitized to beautiful women. So now I just need to see something that's worth following. If I don't see anything worth following, I won't follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of friends, I won't follow anyone that I don't see.
It's like you can just dress nice instead.
Yeah.
You don't have to be naked.
Yeah, you could just classy.
I was going through some of your comments on your posts, and everyone's like, oh, girl, you should do a course on like where you get your outfits from and the makeup.
Oh, I know. They do ask me about that, but I try and keep to what I know.
I don't think that's you.
It's not me. They're getting ready with
doing
me.
A makeup tutorial on
my
YouTube.
God, it's so wet. I can't. I'm just so like, this is not my identity. How I look and how I come across or anything like that is just simply not my identity. It's not who I am. It's not what I'm going to sell. It's just like one tiny part of who I truly am. So I think my purpose online is purely to kind of help relationships, but it's not to how to be Sadia. I would never teach anybody that. Yeah.
There was one thing they did say which was interesting, and I don't really understand. You said you need the right level of conflict to maintain sexual attraction.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Because I am a type of person that generally doesn't like conflict.
Yeah.